we live? We are. What's going on, Chain Gang? How we doing tonight? I have had a very eventful weekend. On Friday, I chaperoned for my kids' field trip. I rode a zip line, and I saw a bunch of animals. And on Saturday, I'd had too much fresh air on Friday, and I was exhausted. Sunday, I went to a trap shoot. My shoulder's all bruised up now. Had a good time getting some clay pigeons out of the sky. And the best part about that was that my kid, it was his first time shooting. And, you know, he doesn't have any experience with pew-pews, as they say. But he went up and he shot several clay pigeons out of the sky. He did very well. I was one proud dad. So, and tonight, finally had a chance to sit down and try and figure out what's going on with my Instagram account. It has been taken over by someone else. So I turned two-factor authorization on to all the rest of my... Thanks for the follow, appreciate you. I turned 2FA on the rest of my accounts, and will be adding more. Getting all of my social media behind a security barrier of some kind, because this is absurd. But I did finally find a way to contact Facebook and let them know that that Instagram account was not usable. So hopefully I'll be able to recover it. We'll see. Don't do that. That mars the rings. So for any of you watching, wondering what I'm doing, I'm taking individual rings and weaving them into a specific pattern that gives you this jelly cube deal. Right? Listen to that. That's beautiful. I love that sound. It's a good sound. So, you're like, oh, why would anyone do that? Well, because jelly cubes are cool, right? This is a brass and stainless, or a bronze and stainless one I'm working on. And I need some more stainless rings for it. But they're fun. Thanks for sharing live, appreciate you. So, I'm making a chainmail jelly cube. And they're super fun. They're a ton of work, like literally a ton of work. I think the math on this, if I weave 200 rings an hour, it'll get me to 91 hours, 91 and a half, something like that. So, 2.5 weeks worth of work. Thanks for the follow, appreciate you. Hello, Mr. Spider, what are you doing here? Let me introduce you to my trash can. Tiniest little spider I've ever seen. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. So, how are you guys? How was your weekend? How was your Monday? I have not been in the habit of dreading Mondays for quite a bit. I've got my uniforms ordered. Mac, how you doing? Got my uniforms ordered. I got my scrub tops in. And I just ordered my pants today. I don't like to wear scrub pants, right? They're comfortable, I guess. But for what I do, out running around, going from facility to facility and house to house, I really don't like scrub pants, especially in the winter, because it's very cold. Doing great. How about you? I'm doing good. Had a good weekend and full of some awesome events and getting some stuff done now. Got an email sent off to Facebook about my Instagram account. Hopefully I'll hear back from them soon. I'm hoping all of the links and resources inside the Facebook support center or the Instagram support center are absolutely useless. So, Maya, how you doing? I'm making a large chainmail jelly cube, or a moderately sized chainmail jelly cube, as some would call it. So, we're taking a bunch of individual rings, and we are weaving them into a shape that'll be cube-like and slinky and tactile and fun. How are you tonight, Maya? But yeah, so trying to recover your email if someone, I have been hacked, right? Not someone changed my password and I can recover it. It was, they have changed my email, password, and I am locked out. So, you're doing good? That's good to hear. But hopefully I will get that taken care of. Got a busy week ahead of me. I need to email my future boss. I believe that on Thursday when I get started, I will be doing a bunch of computer stuff. I don't know if I have to do that here at home or in the office. Alright, I love piano music and classical music as much as the next person, but what are we on? Lo-fi. There we go. Surprise me, metal, happy EDM, chill. None of these are any good. I hate that I pay for this service and I don't like any of them. We are on classic rock. We're gonna skip this song. There, that's something different. All right. Did you ever tell me you were going to New Orleans? No. Jane Q Public, how you doing tonight? What's going on in New Orleans? Magenta RV, how you doing? Good to see ya. You were working on a project last time I saw you post something, and I vaguely understood what was going on. Some kind of AI bot thing. Okay, so I'm limited in my music selection to what Pretzel Rock offers, and Pretzel Rock does not offer Bardcore. Sorry. So, Jane, what are you doing in New Orleans? I've not been to New Orleans. I've been to Baton Rouge, and I've been to a bunch of areas around Fort Polk. Your ear is currently bleeding. That's no good. So I'm assuming that we have, it's not like spinal fluid leaking out or anything. It's, you know what the bleeding is from. Because if you don't know why your ear's bleeding, you should go to the hospital. But, if you, had an injury. Apply pressure. Hold for at least 2 minutes. Wash the wound with soap and water. I don't know. All good, man. You heard about Bardcore today, and it's entertaining. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of music I wish I could play to make making chainmail more scene appropriate. But I'm limited by copyright free and what is available on Pretzel Rock, and because I just looked at a bunch of reports today. I was digging through old Facebook notifications, and there were a bunch on there about old videos that had been flagged for copyright infringement, and they're several years old at this point, but it was all the music that had been played on stream, so I think that bogs my account down over there. We rode the streetcar, rode the ferry, and rode the airboat. Right on. That sounds like a lot of fun. See here. Okay, so I got back from Iraq right after. No. I got to my unit right after Mardi Gras, and then I deployed right away and came back, and it was after Mardi Gras again, and then the next year around, like right after we got back from Iraq, Hurricane Rita and Katrina had rolled through, and Katrina had devastated New Orleans, so they didn't really have a Mardi Gras anything the following year that we could attend. To Scab, and you're still in New Orleans? Right on. So I never got down to New Orleans because right as I got there, it was devastated. Or right as I got back from Iraq, it was devastated. So, but I did visit other places in Louisiana. Louisiana is an interesting place. Definitely different. Got its own unique appeal. Alright, what was that? Weather permitting, you'll be welding up your cross member for a receiver hitch on your bus. Right on. Well, I hope the weather permits. The weather does not seem to be permitting much lately. Like, it's been, knock on wood, it's been gorgeous here. But, the big portion of the country that's been devastated by the weather recently. My favorite thing is all the now, don't get me wrong, there are many conspiracy theorists that I think are plausible or have some basis in truth, right? Many. I don't trust the government for anything, okay? But the number of people who have come out in support of the idea that the government caused the devastation in North Carolina for a lithium mine, I think that's alarming. Rain in the Northeast today? Is it plausible? Sure. On the list of things that are probable, it's very low on my list of things that I put a lot of stock into. But I do find it amusing when I see people that are very dedicated to dispensing the idea that HAARP manipulated a hurricane specifically for a lithium mine or whatever is going on up there. If you do go to New Orleans and ride the airboat, you would recommend trying your best to get Kurt as a guide? Okay. See, a good guide. A good guide will make all the difference in your experience. Yeah, I don't have any plans on traveling. My brother wants me to fly out to Japan to see him, which I don't fly typically. Not because I'm afraid of flying. I've flown all over the world, right? And when I say all over the world, like the States, an airport in Ireland for an hour, Rhine-Main, Germany, Turkey, Kuwait, Iraq, right? And back and forth and back and forth. So I've done the whole 24-hour flight across the Atlantic. It's not fun. But my brother wants me to come out and see him, and I'm going to try and get out there. Waiting to see what happens in Tampa Bay this week. Yeah. Category 5 hurricane, 180-mile-an-hour winds. We will see what happens. So, I know I have a few friends down there. I don't know exactly where. When I was at the trap shoot on Sunday, my wife's cousin, his family lives down there in the northern part of Florida. So, he said they were okay so far. But now we have a second hurricane coming through, and we'll see what happens. I have some friends that live further down the coast by the Space Coast, and father lives in the path in a trailer park. Yeah. There's a lot of that down there. Your skin is not paper, so don't cut it. Your body isn't a book, so don't judge it. Other people's. Cut your body isn't a book, so don't judge it. Okay. But yeah, so everyone I know that I am in contact with is like evacuated and out of the area, out of the path or whatever. Okay, so we got the full quote. Your skin is not paper, so don't cut it. Your body isn't a book, so don't judge it. Other people's feelings aren't eggs, so don't break them. What does it mean? What does it mean? Oh, yeah. I don't know anyone in the North Carolina area that I'm aware of. I'm sure I do, but no one I've been in contact with for years. So we will see what happens. That whole scenario is crazy. I remember, so I was in a hurricane in Maryland back in 2003, 2004 time frame, and that was just wet and windy, and it had like been downgraded several times by the time it got to DC. Then I went through Rita. Like Katrina hit, but Katrina hit New Orleans, and I was on the western part of Louisiana, and then Rita came through and went right over us, and that was down power lines, flooding. We were without power for a week, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm hoping, that's everything gets fixed quickly, and we seem to survive pretty well. We were on a military base, so we did have a lot of options available to us, like generators and whatnot, but that wasn't for like personal use or anything. Remember Irene and Bob in Maine? Yeah. Bad attitude's like a flat tire. You don't go anywhere until you fix it. I like it. I'm going to use that on my kid. But those are the only natural disasters I've been a part of. What's funny is because they didn't have anything to do with us, active duty military types on base, right? We had to go around and do post cleanup after Rita came through. And, people were pulling out like their lawn trimmings that they'd had in their backyard for 2 years. And then they pulled it out to the street for the soldiers to come pick up. It's like, this didn't get knocked down in the hurricane. So that was pretty funny. Tripped over your wife's bra. It was a booby trap. Yep. What else? Please don't block me. You want to be included? No worries. I will absolutely block people. But it's usually people with some kind of disgusting attitude or something to say about, oh, you're just wasting your time doing that, or people who loudly proclaim that, oh, you charge too much. You're ripping people off. It's like, no, I'm not. I have had, actually, with the last fairly large cube I did, the one I got up to 4 inches on each side, I told people what I wanted for that, and I had several people actually come after me. Not come after me, but like get rude about it. Can't wait until you wasting your time doing that. Heck yeah. I have a block list a mile long for various reasons. See, here's the thing. My phone is my property, and my social media accounts are mine. So I'm not going to let someone else ruin my day on my accounts, right? Or on my phone, my property. So I use the Banhammer expeditiously and swiftly. It's like I don't have time enough as it is. And I'm certainly not going to spend my time defending myself and what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Oops, didn't want to be a guest. No, you're fine. I don't like things that I will block people for, right? Let's see here. Coming after me for anything I do, right? Politically, religiously, like if I make a post about my opinion on something, I'm not going to sit there and have a debate about it, right? Like if you're polite and ask me why, I can certainly explain things to someone. It's very, very difficult to have a conversation in text, right? And people love to rage bait on the internet. So I learned a long time ago that I don't want to spend my life arguing with strangers on the internet, so I don't. I largely block and move on. That notification's a little late. My Discord just notified me that I went live. 24 minutes late. It's fine. This is fine. Why am I so damn handsome? Oh, I don't know. I got good-looking parents, I guess. But yeah, compliments like that, I'll take those. Speaking of parents, I am a parent, and I have a son. And I took him to the trap shoot where we shot shotguns at Clay Pigeons. And my son did very well. I was very, very proud of him. So, unstable connection. Why? Why does it do that? Oh well. Alright. Once I get this Instagram situation fixed, I'm going to focus on getting this stream key from TikTok. It's been long enough. TikTok should give me a stream key. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just make a video a day about how TikTok should give me a stream key until they give me one. And I won't, I'll still go live, but I won't make any other videos. I'll just start clogging their thread with, or their clogging their pages with TikTok. Give me a stream key all day, every day. Doesn't seem on sale with you. That's good. Your wife called you handsome last week, and you've held on to it, beaming ever since. It's like, Yes, guys enjoy compliments, and they don't get them very much. I think that's something the internet has noted. How come people don't want to exercise, but everyone wants to make snow angles, which is jumping jack in snow? Right? No, the gamification of exercise is a thing. Right? Peloton tried to do it. You know, a lot of people, instead of like jogging or going to the gym, they're playing soccer or whatever. So if you can figure out how to gamify what you want to accomplish, right? There's a good chance you'll get it done. So what else did I do this week? I went ziplining on Friday. That was awesome. I went once. I had the opportunity to go more times, right? And lugging my lard butt all the way up to the top of this tower where the zip lines, where you got attached to the zip line, was only going to happen once. It was like 1,000 stairs from the bottom all the way up. Did someone say extra fries? You're a YouTuber, right on. What is your channel theme? If you don't mind me asking. Like, what do you YouTube about? I, too, am a YouTuber. And I have, I don't know, I think I'm over 40 followers now. I don't know, I'd have to look. I might still be in the 30s. And I need to make more chainmail specific content besides lives. Like shorts and maybe tutorials and, you know. Is that your YouTube name? Shorts would hurt. Let's see here. Nope, I don't see nothing. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I said chainmail shorts? Oh, yeah. Those would hurt. Those would not be fun. Used to do Dungeons and Dragons Online, Lord of the Rings, and a few other games. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Now you're trying to do a schoolie build and traveling on YouTube? That's cool. The whole living in a vehicle has never appealed to me. Not once, not ever, not even for a little bit. It's like, I like bare necessities while camping, or nothing. Or a house. Where did nothing come from? Sleeping on a tent with a campfire and maybe a little cook stove and a sleeping bag. I've never camped with an RV, so I don't know what it's like. So maybe I'd find it okay, but I don't know. The whole like van life. Thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate you. The whole van life movement just missed me. The tiny house thing too. It's like, no, I don't want a small house. So I've lived in trailers a lot. No desire to have a small amount of square footage. So a lot of people make shirts. How many pairs of pants have you seen made? Maybe 2 or 3. Like by people who are doing this for a hobby. There are people who make chainmail pants. Chasses, as I think they're called. I don't know. I got a book over here on armor I need to read that I haven't read yet. Try typing in she be greedy. Okay. Hang on. I will try. Let's see here. I get a bunch of Tate McRae videos. You wonder why more haven't been made? Why more? I don't know. Like that of being able to drive away if the weather or political climate gets bad. Oh, you know, I'm sure that there are benefits to it beyond that I'm not particularly aware of. But as far as my day-to-day life goes, no, I need a lot of ridiculous space for no reason. Even though I'm sitting in like a, what is this? Is this 6 feet? It might be 6 feet wide by 10 feet. Little space to make my chainmail, which is where I spend most of my time. It's like I could do it if I had to. I certainly don't want to. Alright. My Facebook is the same as... if you go to the link tree in my bio on TikTok, my Facebook link is linked there. But all my social medias are on there. So... that's probably just because basements are awesome. Basements are awesome. Except... so I do want to tear out all the walls down here and move my dryer and move my water heater and furnace and all that stuff. And open it up more. Because there's a lot of stuff in the middle of the basement that is just in the way, right? Doesn't really need to be there. But, you know, other than the poor layout, basement's awesome. Good place to hang out. It's a good place to sit and get away from the family and make chainmail. And it's a good place to store all my stuff. Bye, Jane. Have a good one. Shoot me that YouTube channel. I don't know why it's not pulling up, but... so... yeah, I don't know why people don't make more pants. Oh, here, want to see something fun? At camp that I went to with my son, we made little... leather projects. People made keychains and bracelets, and me and my son made coasters. And I took a cross stamp and tried to make a pattern out of it, and it kind of almost worked. And then they sprayed it for me, and it was included in the cost of going on the field trip, but thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. You know, for a half attempt with no practice. Just taking the cross stamp and trying to line it up next to the other stamp impressions and trying to kind of make it look good. I have a coaster now, which I've needed for a while, so I'm happy with that. And then my son made his coaster for his mom. As you didn't point out the cross stamp, you wouldn't have noticed. Yeah, it's kind of visually confusing. A feature I like to talk about a lot, especially when it comes to chainmail specifically, because that's my MO, my AO, my area of expertise. Like, there were these textured rings and standard rings on a bracelet the other day, and they were separate. The standard rings were over here, and all the textured rings were on this side of a bracelet, right? And all the way down, you had this visual delineation between the smoothness of the standard rings and the roughness of the textured rings, and visually it looked great, right? Had that person used all textured rings, it would not look nearly as good, right? Because you just can't tell what you're looking at. But by adding the regular smooth rings into the mix, it was a very nice visual delineation of what was what. So, and even I see it a lot, like, people will try to use a bunch of different weaves in a necklace. I don't like to mix weaves very much. Some of them come together very nicely, right? Like edging European 4-in-1 with half Persian 3-in-1. It works, right? Or European 4-in-1 and elf weave, or interwoven 4-in-1. Those weaves work together, right? But a lot of times people try to combine chain weaves, and it's very visually confusing. So I tend not to do that. All right. And then even on my big cube, right? Once I got it finished, it's 30 pounds. It's awesome, but you really have to get up and figure out what you're looking at. Had I used solid black rings instead of a chainmail chain, it would be less visually confusing. But I'm not about to take that project apart and redo it better. It's a giant 30-pound chainmail cube. It's pretty awesome on its own, and maybe next time I will remember to not make it, to avoid, maybe next time I will do a better job of avoiding the visual confusion. But I've never made anything like that before, and for my first time, I think it was a good project, despite all the headaches that came along with it. So, but it was fun. It's done. So I realized over the weekend, so Friday night, I was exhausted from running around following a bunch of kids all day at this camp, right? And they had like an animal tour, so the kids got to hold turtles and snakes, and there was a bird that they could let sit on their finger. Rabbits you could pet, a ferret. What else they have? They had a one of these are like 10, 11-year-old kids, and one of the girls was having an existential crisis when they brought out the chinchilla because it was so fluffy, right? She was literally like having a hard time not crying. It was really funny. Nobody was laughing at her at the time, but I am laughing with her and her, being so excited about getting to pet a chinchilla. So, what else? Zip lining and leather projects, and that's cool. It was a cool camp experience. It's so fluffy. That's all of that is what that little girl was going through. Just losing her mind about how fluffy the chinchilla was. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. So, what was I was going to say? Yeah, it was okay. So Friday, I was exhausted. I did not get any work done on Friday. Saturday, I was still exhausted. I was just tired. We had some family time, hanging out and whatnot. Sunday was the trap shoot, and I was exhausted after I got home from that. First thing in the morning, I go out and I shoot 10 out of 10. Okay? And then the rest of the day, I'm shooting 6s and 7s. And I'm in the middle of this, I'm also going up to the line to shoot with my son, right? For his first time shooting. And I didn't think he was going to hit anything. And he ended up hitting he went up 3 times and he hit over half of the clay pigeons thrown out in front of him. Like, he had an opportunity to hit 30, 10 birds each time. And he got 15 or 16 out of 30. So that I was really impressed by that. I was a very proud dad, right? And then, so I had shot really well first thing in the morning. Me and my wife's cousin were on a teams shoot, and we won that. So go us. And then the rest of the day, it was just 6 and 7s out of 10. And my last shoot, I'm doing great, right? The first 6 shots all in a row, just got them all, okay? The next 4 shots, I missed every single one. It's like, man, if I was out practicing like once a week, I'd feel worse about it. So I feel like I did okay. There was also one young female there whose dad and brother and cousins were all there, and she was out shooting most of her family. It was really funny. So that was fun. It was a fun day outside. And then I was just too exhausted. Went shopping today. Got the kid some new clothes because he won't stop growing. So every time I turn around, he's getting taller. Oh, I've got his teeth. Oh. So we got him some new clothes, pants and shirts, and it's winter time, so. And then I bought some new pants today. I really hope this new job works out because they were very expensive. So, and that I should start on Thursday. It'll work out. It'll be fine. On the field trip on Friday, they did have the tiniest hog-nosed snake. It was, obviously it was a baby, right? It might have been that long and as big around as my pinky, and it had this little hog-nosed snake face sitting in the corner. I'm not a fan of snakes, but, even I can acknowledge when something is just kind of adorable. Here, come on. Like people that do the whole... I've had a bearded dragon before. I've had dogs and cats. I'm deathly allergic to cats, and I won't have any in the house now. Right? Dogs, I don't ever want puppies again. The corgi puppy was enough for me. So I don't understand the attraction to people who do the whole pythons and iguanas and all the reptiles. It's like my brother-in-law is a fish guy, right? You ever met a fish person? They're a bit odd sometimes if they're really into fish. And he does like freshwater stingrays, and he's got a turtle of some kind, right? So he's big into it. Got a big tank in his basement that was really cool. Yeah. The glass broke on it recently, and I don't think he's fixed it. So, but I get the attraction of a fish tank. Lights are cool, the fish are cool, okay? And this is no shade to people who do the whole reptile thing. You know, keep an alligator in your bathtub or whatever. I just don't understand the attraction. Definitely not my thing. Alright. It's like I will stick with animals that are trained to go to the bathroom outside of my house. Even though the puppy didn't. Alright, Magenta. Have a good night. Appreciate you being here. It's like when I was growing up, I had a uncle that ran a haunted house, and I went out to help him. And he had some friends that had some like 15-foot pythons, reticulated pythons. Maybe they were boa constrictors. I don't know. Like, it's cool. Boxer Dog, how you doing? It's going well. The animals are definitely cool. I could never be the one to do the caretaking for large reptiles like that. Alright. Yeah, it's going pretty good today. Hopefully I'll hear back from Facebook about my Instagram account. Got a little work done on the cube today for the first time in several days. I was just saying how over the weekend I got too much fresh air and I was exhausted. So, and I don't plan on being out on late tonight at all. So, just come on here, say hi, weave a few rings, get a little bit of work done. Let's go. Getting life put back together. Getting laundry done. Gotta wash all the new clothes my kid got. So, I need to take something out for dinner tomorrow. So we got a little bit of lasagna, a little bit of some pasta left. Is this... Where are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Working on... We're halfway done with row 10. Right? So it's getting taller. It's coming along. Right? That's how tall it needs to be. And that's how tall it is. So... Yep, there. We'll get there. Alright. What else? Not much else is going on in my life. Field trip, trap shoot. Helping the kid with his homework. Starting work on Thursday. Dealing with Instagram. And I don't know. So I'm looking forward to going back to work. It'll get me out of the house. But I'm going to miss the progress on these projects because, usually I work on this throughout the day because while my kid's at school. Now I'll be working while my kid's at school. And I'll have to come home and do homework and dinner then, right? I can't, come home from work and then go work on chainmail. It's just not the way it works, right? So I'll get my kid. Excuse me. Grab my kid from school. Come home. Do homework. Do dinner. And then hopefully in the evening I'll have an hour and a half, 2 hours to come down here and work. And that's going to be all the work I have, all the time I have for chainmail projects. And hopefully I will be able to stream while I do it, and that won't become an issue. So I am going to miss the time I've been able to spend on getting these projects done. I was hoping to get this cube done before I started. Right? Where are we at here? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's do some math here. Clear. 18 divided by 29. Okay. And multiply that by 18,299. Okay. Now that leaves us with 11,358. 11,358 done. Minus 8,299. We got 6,941 to go. Right? So I was hoping to have this done by Thursday, but I did not have any time or energy to work on it over the weekend. So this is going to be a project that hopefully I can finish when I start work. It'll get done. One ring at a time. You just keep working on projects, they will get done. So, but going back to work will afford me the opportunity to get some tools I need for my little chainmail workshop. Get caught up on, I need a deck for my house. The deck we have it was never taken care of before we bought the house. And it's just falling apart. So, man, my nose is acting up. Or I think I've said previously that right now I have all the time in the world. Right? But none of the funding. And now I'll have all of the funding for whatever I want to do, and none of the time. And that's just kind of how life goes. Alrighty. Okay. So this layer that I'm working on now will finish up the 10th row. So it'll be 15 by 15 by 10 will be the dimensions of this. It's a excuse me. There'll be 18,299 rings in it when I'm done. And I don't know how much it's going to weigh. We can guess, though. Hang on. I think I had like 4 pounds of rings when I started this project. Alrighty. Alright, so if we are 0.6218 whatever, right? Where's the calculator? Okay, 0 that. Alright. Yeah, 0.62. 0.622. Oh no, I would have to, I can't use a calculator for this. It would be 0.62 equals 2 pounds, 5.6 ounces. So that's 37.6 ounces. What does 1 equal? Where's my math? Okay. If 0.62 equals, no, it should just be a equals 37.6 over x, right? We do 1, cancel this out. 1, I don't think that works. We just get, it's just, that was dumb. I don't know why I thought that would work. Again, 0.62 equals 37.6 divided by x. Is that okay? I'm dumb. And then we do that. X times 0.62 equals, so yeah, x divide. What's 37.6? Clear. 37.6 divided by 0.62. 60. Okay, then we divide 60 by 16, which is just shy of 4. 3.79. So this should weigh about 3.8 pounds when it's all done. All right. What is it? 2 pounds, 5.6 ounces. Don't forget to turn your scales off. Or your calipers. Because if you don't turn them off, the batteries will die really fast. I learned that the hard way. So, there we go. Should weigh 3.8 pounds by the time it's done. Give or take. That'll be pretty good. That's a pretty good weight for a cube. And it's a good size. I wish I could make it 16 rows on each side, but it's just not. I don't think I have the rings for it. Oh, you know what? Here's a thought. To figure out I should weigh this and then empty it and then just weigh the container, subtract the container to get the weight of how many rings I have left to make sure I have enough to get to 3.79 pounds. I'm pretty sure I do, but I could be wrong. And then not all of this work will have been for naught, but I will have to remove a row, which is fine. But I think I'll make I think I will make 15 rows on each side easily and have some left over. Knock on wood. I hope I didn't just jinx myself. Worst case scenario, I might have to call my friend who made me these rings and ask him for more. Just beg him for enough to finish this cube. And I realize that the difference between 15 rows on each side versus 16 rows on each side is kind of irrelevant. Like, what does it matter? It's like another 4,000 rings to add. But right now, its current width is 4 and 3/4 inches. And I just want to add one more row to make it 5 inches, a little over 5 inches on each side. So I had this one. I had a larger version of this one using these ring sizes. Excuse me. And I had gotten it out to 4 inches on each side. I was going to take it to 5 because I was making this to replace a rubber band ball over on my bar that is falling apart. Right? And that's like 44,000 rings, something like that. So that's gonna be a project that takes quite a while. So even this, I got a brass and stainless cube here. And I was like, I would really like a stainless cube. And a lot of people have asked for me to make a cube and get it to someone like Demolition Ranch or Ballistics High Speed to fire a projectile at it. Which, that'd be cool. It'd be fun. I don't think the cube is going to stop anything in any caliber at all, right? So, I was looking at the cost, and in this size alone, this is 18 standard wire gauge, 1/8. It's the same ring size as these aluminum rings up here. I was looking at the cost to do a 20 by 20 cube, and it was like $1,300. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't exactly have $1,300 to throw at a cube that is just going to have a projectile fired at it. We'll see. Maybe in the future. Certainly not anytime soon. What else is going on? Once I have a job, or once I start working, right, and I have play money, investing in my own coil and cutting setup is paramount. That's one of the top priorities I have. So that way, when I go to make certain items out of, say, stainless steel. I don't have to have $1,300. I can, because it's like, I don't know, $50 in actual wire. Someone asked me that. Like, how many feet of wire is one of these cubes? And it depends, depends on the ring size. Saying, I guess you'd have to flatten it out. Measure the length of it and then multiply that by the number of rings. It's an interesting question. It's a lot of wire. Seemingly. But the effort you put into a cube is about the same. The effort you put into a cube of this size is about the same as what you would put into a shirt. Right? So, when I say at 200 rings an hour, it's 91 hours. Come on. You can make a shirt in that time. What is that time? Clarence was? Just go 92 for times. Huh, okay. Oh. It's like we occasionally get people in here who have asked if a cube is a good project for a beginner. And I don't think that cubes or shirts are a good project for beginners. Now, nobody asked my opinion, but I have a lot of experience in this. And I've watched a lot of people get started making chainmail, and because they haven't developed the discipline to stick with the grind of large projects, they get a big chunk of chainmail woven, and then they stop, and they never pick it up until 10 years later, when they see it in the corner of their room, mocking them. Now, granted, my first shirt took me a long time. My first shirt was also much more arduous than it needed to be. I used a European 6-in-1 for the whole shirt instead of European 4-in-1. And it's a very tight, heavy weave. And I used hand-cut rings, which they are kind of crap. And I used galvanized steel. And so the whole thing kind of is like crappy and stinks and is very poorly tailored. But I did do it. I did make it. So it's like there were many things I made out of galvanized steel when I first got started, and I certainly don't recommend that anyone use it now. There's much better materials available now than galvanized steel. So we have chainmail suppliers that cater to the chainmail hobbyists. You can get pretty much any metal you want. I don't know of anyone who makes platinum rings. Now that I think about it. So you can't get tungsten. Tungsten's too difficult to work with. And you can't get platinum. But gold, silver, copper, aluminum, steel, titanium, niobium, brass, bronze, aluminum, anodized niobium, and anodized titanium. sterling silver, argentium silver, fine silver, rose gold, white gold. Actually, I think the rose gold and white gold and yellow gold, there's like the pure gold options, and then the rose gold and white gold options have a copper core or a bronze core or something like that, and then it's just a layer of gold around the bronze wire, something like that. I've never used them. I'm not that fancy. But it was a way to have gold, a gold piece of jewelry, right? That did not have the cost and wasn't like gold plated or anything and wouldn't rub off. So yeah, definitely don't start your first project with galvanized steel. Just my advice. No one's asking, but I'm just saying. And don't start out with a shirt. Once again, no one's asking. It's just my experience, not a good idea. There's many other things to learn and to make before you go in on your first shirt. And whenever you make something, be aware of visual confusion when people are looking at your piece. I don't know if I have any other words of wisdom. But those, those seem to be a recurring theme. If anyone has made chainmail who's watching, what was your first project? So I learned a couple different like little weaves, like European 4-in-1 and 6-in-1 and Byzantine and half Persian 4-in-1 and 3-in-1, right? I learned those, but my projects, they were not like by any stretch of the imagination finished products, right? They were very raw. And oh no. I'd say I made a shirt as one of my first projects. A kind of dice bag thing. Not very good, but it worked. And I don't have... Nikki, thank you for liking the stream. Appreciate you. The only piece of chainmail that I have from when I first got started is the shirt I was working on. Really hard to lose a large piece like that. But all the smaller stuff, except for one thing I randomly made one night, all the smaller stuff was disappeared, Oh, here's a fun story. I went to the doctor today, and this is a two-part story, so buckle up. First, drop my kid off, go to the doctor, right? Vitals are fine. My situation has not changed. The discs in my neck have not magically gone back into place. Migraines, numbness and tingling, pain, all that stuff is unchanged. She wants me to get imaging and seek other treatments, and that involves injections and something else. I really don't want treatment from the VA. I'm not going to lie, right? But it was very nice of her to offer. Non-invasive stuff like medications, like my blood pressure meds, okay, fine. Rainy and cold. Mike, how you doing? Bungie, how you doing? So, basically she tells me that I drink too much, I smoke too much, and I'm overweight. Right? That's your standard issue doctor visit. So, okay, great. Nothing's changed since last year. But because my mother passed in her sleep, the autopsy report said that her heart just up and stopped. She had what's known as Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. And I mentioned that to she is actually a nurse practitioner. So she wants me to go get an EKG, get an echocardiogram, and then go see cardiology. Extra tired, just got done repairing the kid's toilet. Ooh, fun. I don't envy you. I've done that. It's one of those things that you just have to do. Like when I replaced the faucet in my sink in my kitchen the other day. Like, it took several hours, 2 trips to Lowe's, and I got it done, but, why did the faucet break in the first place? Dang it. Come on. But yeah, so going to go see cardiology, right? That was interesting. And then I had an appointment I was trying to schedule, and the doctor wrote the order for me to get seen by this clinic. Super confined space too. Extra annoying. That's fun. I love that. It's, when you're like trying to make things work in tiny spaces. So I go to schedule this appointment. First off, the doc gives me a number to call. I call the number. It's 3 digits, then 5 digits, which I thought was odd. So I tried like a couple combinations of the first 4, the last 4, and I got nowhere. So then I Googled this clinic and called them, and they said that I had to get in touch with the central appointment line, and I get a hold of the central appointment line people, and I was passed through no less than 7 additional people. So I made the call to the clinic who couldn't schedule my appointment, right? And then when it got given, I was not transferred to, I got a number for the appointment line, called them, and was processed through 7 different people until I got to someone who said, you can leave a voicemail on this machine and they'll get back to you, right? So at the end of it, I didn't know if I could walk into this clinic, and I didn't know if I needed an appointment to go and see them, right? I probably need an appointment, but I'm not 100% sure. And I didn't know that at the end of this rigmarole. And I also did not have an appointment at the end of this. This is the VA. Okay? So I was livid. It's like at no point in time, because you have a lot of VA civilians that like act like their job isn't centered around taking care of vets. They act like it's a burden that vets exist, and it's really annoying. And you have that, like when people say, the VA sucks, like that's what they're dealing with. They're dealing with people with attitude problems and inefficiencies in the system, and it's just a headache, right? You should be able to call someplace and schedule an appointment. I've never called a doctor's office and been like, oh, you gotta talk to someone else in order for you to get a appointment here. It's like, anyway. So that was my exciting adventure today in healthcare. And I still don't have an appointment, so super fun. But, all right. Let's talk toilets. When we moved into this house, all the guts of all the toilets that we had to be replaced. The lines coming out of the walls, the water lines, Had to replace all the shutoff valves and replace all the guts of the toilet. That was super fun to do on 4 different toilets. Or better, why can't you schedule online? Because it's the VA. I don't think there's anything you can schedule online. In fact, so I had to schedule an appointment to see my doctor this morning, right? When I called someone, right? I didn't call the clinic that I go to. I got put in touch with like this central appointment line, and they transferred me around a bit, and they ended up scheduling me with the wrong person. So my appointment was originally at like 9:30 this morning. I go drop my kid off at 8:30. I was gonna just go over to the clinic, wait for a little bit, and they had to reschedule me for an hour later. Oh, excuse me. And that whole appointment this morning took an hour and a half. They're like, oh, it's time for your annual. I'm like, I'm not here for an annual. I've got an issue I need taken care of. I just need a referral to this clinic. And then 90 minutes later, it's like answering, every other freaking question. But yeah, I can schedule an appointment with my barber online. Why can't I don't know. It's a mess. It's the VA, it's government healthcare, and it's a mess. And, there's a lot of incentive for it not to improve. So, I don't know. So I tried getting I am an RN. I tried getting a job there once, multiple times. And I've been turned down for like 6 different jobs there. And I'm supposed to have veterans preference, right? And I know that there are several people who were hired, for the same jobs that I applied for, who were not even veterans. Okay? So, it's supposed to be a system to help veterans, and there are a lot of people there trying to make it that. And I'm a patient person. It takes me a lot to get going. What else have I got? I got to take my kid for a haircut because he needs one. I got one last week. So check out my haircut. You like that? Looks good, right? Yeah. I got that in preparation for the employment, right? So I got to go get his haircut. And then I've been to the doctor, got my haircut, I got my uniforms. I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting to get started at this new job. So I'll email the individual who hired me or who interviewed me tomorrow. I did get an email today saying that they needed confirmation that my drug screening had happened, which I did last week. Yeah. I don't know why they don't have confirmation that it happened from the place I had it done at that they signed me up for. But it definitely happened. Thanks for sharing it live. I appreciate you. So, I mean, that was kind of weird. I would assume that you would want to know if it had happened, so maybe you guys follow up with the facility where I had my substance screening. So that and my background check should all be done by Thursday. And I'll probably get an email tomorrow from the lady who interviewed me and start getting things ready for Thursday. We'll see what happens. I am kind of, I was hoping to get the Mailworks app icons done before I started work, but I'll just have to take a weekend and sit down and knock them out. Like getting the icons done and then getting this cube done were my two goals, and I'm not going to meet either because I was out playing in the fresh air. Which is a good reason not to have them done, and it's not the end of the world if I don't finish this cube by Thursday, right? Whatever. But computer stuff, if I don't sit down and make a point to work on stuff online, or on like on my website, or on the Mailworks app, or on my Linktree, or whatever, if I don't purposefully sit down to do that, it takes forever to get it done. Right? So I will have to just sit down and make myself do it. Come on. I don't know what I have for tomorrow. My kid's haircut is one day this week. And other than that, it's, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then start the new job. So most of both of those days will be spent working on this. I think for right now, my honeydew list is all caught up. And it's going to stay caught up until I hire some people to do this stuff that she wants done. Like, I don't climb ladders much anymore. I'm over 40, okay? I don't help people move and I don't climb ladders, okay? So, my house needs to be painted, especially like the trim. A lot of areas that have just started to flake off. So that needs to be done, right? And I have a 20-foot ladder. 24 foot. And there's a lot of places that I cannot get to on the outside of my house with a 24-foot ladder, right? Parts of my house are like very tall. So I'm not going to go and like climb and paint nothing. And the back of my house sees the sun all the time. So I have kind of a blue-gray house and the back is pretty faded. So going to hire someone to do that. Duct cleaning, right? I don't have the equipment to duct clean. Gonna hire someone to do that. So I need to go and make some money, and then my list of things that the wife wants done around the house will be smaller. I hope. Like, I'll get the list done, and then she'll just come up with something else. It's like, I used to string Christmas lights around the garage and around some of the front windows. I do not do that anymore. I want to. There's like these lights that you can put under the eaves, and they're remote controlled. And I don't know if they're hardwired in or not, but you can have like different themes, like a Halloween theme, Christmas theme, 4th of July theme, right? I want to get some of those put up. So get lights put up like that, and then get a projector and call it a day. Not gonna worry about hanging up Christmas lights or anything. Climbing up 20 feet on a ladder. Alright. I'd have to go look at my list of honeydews, but she wants a shelf built around the fireplace upstairs. She wants like a shelf on either side. And then she wants a backsplash. I've never done tile. I don't have any experience with tile. And I'm told that, hey, yeah, you know, it's possible to do it yourself. It's much easier just to hire someone with the experience to do it. So it's like, yes, I could have eventually figured out why my AC went out completely and kind of just dragged the AC unit along for a few more months. But at the end of the day, it was worth it to just buy a new AC unit because the last one was 20 years old and on its last legs. You know? It's like, I'm definitely not a, what do you call it? Like a Tim Allen, you know, like Tim the Toolman Taylor. Or, oh, what's the guy that does This Old House? They go through and fix everything, right? I am somewhat handy. I have built a table stand thing that has some storage underneath, and it's very nice. It was to hold the Bearded Dragon's terrarium. We couldn't find a table strong enough or big enough to hold his terrarium, so I made one. I have done that, and I built a deck down in on our house down in Texas. You know, and fixing plumbing issues and faucets and whatnot, little things. I am somewhat handy. Change out dryer vent tubing. Okay, so I'm not useless when it comes to house stuff. Just, you know, some of the bigger stuff, it's like I'm not climbing up on a ladder to paint the house. Get someone who has scaffolding to get up there. And employees. And insurance. Let them risk their life. My stepdad, though, he is the kind of guy that could go and do This Old House, or he's got all the tools, and he finished the basement of the house my mom and him lived in, and he did like all the doors. He put a big rock wall on the front of their house. It looked really nice. He built a gazebo out in their backyard with a what do they call those? A brick oven, right? He's, you know, very, very handy guy. I'm not, and I'm okay with that. I'm really good at chainmail, though. So if you need any chainmail, let me know. If you need me to, you know, fix something in your house, maybe you call someone else. Come on. Oh, and especially after I tried to replace the GCFI outlet on the outside of my house. Right? That was a humbling experience in demonstrating to me that I don't know what I'm doing, and at best I'm just guessing. Right? Because it took me 4 tries to wire it correctly. Like 3 tries of screwing it up, and then finally Googled what I was doing wrong. And wouldn't you know it, I didn't do it right. Don't do that. Okay, where are we at here? Oh, wow. I just chewed through half that ring. Oh, here's another fun thing. My check engine light came on in my truck. I just recently put $4,000 into the truck, replacing the timing chain. Right? So, that's awesome. And now, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's like, I can't tell if the transmission's slipping or what. When it accelerates, it like slips. So I think it's a transmission issue. So not this week, but next week I got to take it to my brother-in-law's to get looked at and find out what the damage is. So that's gonna be awesome. It's almost to the point where I just need to trade in the truck for something else. The problem is, like, okay, so here's the math, right? I sold my last car when the repairs on it when the repairs on it in a year cost more than what the car was worth, right? I had like, what year was it? A 2002 Mitsubishi Diamante or something. Oh, excuse me. And I drove that thing for like 10 years, and it had, I don't know, 150,000 miles on it or something. But it needed a new catalytic converter. And that was like $1,500. And the car was only worth $1,000. You know, like Kelly Blue Book value or whatever. Everything ran on it okay. I just couldn't get it to pass emissions. So, or I couldn't get the check engine light to go off. Something. Everything ran fine though. Just needed a new catalytic converter, right? And between the catalytic converter and, like, it's a black car with a black leather interior in South Texas. And so anytime you got in it, it was 10,000 degrees inside. Like, I should have got rid of that car immediately when I moved to Texas, but I'm not a smart person, so. And the air conditioning was like this. It was just like, that's about as good as it would get, and it wasn't really cold. No, it was not. It was not a fun car, but I drove the crap out of it, right? But the air conditioner cost me a bunch of money, and then I needed a new catalytic converter, and I was like, yeah, okay, time to get rid of this car. Okay, so my truck, weird thing about the truck is it's kind of been going up in value because vehicles are $100,000 right now, right? So I think last I checked, my truck was worth like 10 or 11 grand. You know, Blue Book value, trade-in value, whatever. And if I get the, I got the $4,000 timing chain issue fixed, and if this is a transmission issue, as I'm thinking, and I need something like, you know, a $3,500 transmission. Yeah, I might start looking at a new vehicle, because it's just not, like, how much does a vehicle cost to repair each month? How much is a payment on a new truck? Where do those two lines cross? you know, and how much is the truck worth? And if you're paying more than what the truck's worth every year to keep it running, does that make sense? That's my thought process on it. Will you have enough rings to finish? You're close to knowing. I would have to weigh this, and all of this should weigh 3.79 pounds. 3 pounds, 7.9 ounces. Is that what we came up with? No, it was 3.79 pounds. That's what we came up with. Okay? So almost 4 pounds. I think I have enough. This was 2 pounds, 5.6 ounces. And yeah, I would have to, I don't have a bag easily accessible, otherwise I'd just switch them out and weigh it, but I think I will. Alright, let's see here. So it is nearing 10 o'clock. For anyone watching who's like, oh, holy cow, he's making chainmail in the comfort of his own home, and he's making this really big, obnoxiously large, moderately sized cube, right? I want to learn how to do that. Well, you're in luck. You're in the right place. In the link tree in my bio on all my social medias, there is, if you go in there, there's like a shop that's some Amazon affiliate stuff, some tool recommendations. If you want to get started in chainmail, definitely take a look in there. And I'll look at the pliers selection that I put in there. Then the next thing is the Mailworks app. And you don't have to download anything. Just open. It's a web app. It just opens up. You get all the suppliers I'm aware of for chainmail supplies specifically. Tool recommendations, where to find other chainmail artists, groups and forums and stuff like that, all inside the app, and it's free, and it's all the resources I wished I would have had when I first got started and more, right? The rest of the stuff in there is my website. I designed it. Oh, excuse me. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories, so that's one way I support my hobby. A lot of cool stuff in there. Car seat covers, coffee cups, leggings, and all kinds of fun stuff. T-shirts, chainmail themed T-shirts, jerseys with chainmail print all over them. They're awesome. And more to come. More to come. So pay attention to my store. Visit often. Buy a lot. And if you use discount code LIVESTREAM, all one word, lowercase, at mailworks.com, you will get 20% off anything you order tonight. So that is only for people who hang out till the end of my streams. I do appreciate you all being here. Please follow along on all my socials. They're all listed in my link tree. And it's 10 o'clock. I got to go make sure that my kid, is heading towards bed. And I'm going to get out of here for the rest of the evening. I should be back on tomorrow night. Tuesday night and Wednesday night are pretty for sures, right? And then after Tuesday night, I don't know how much time work is going to take up when I start my new job. So we're going to find that out, and hopefully I'll still be able to stream. Oh, excuse me. Oh. I will. I'll figure out a way to continue to stream and make videos and all that fun stuff and work and make chainmail and, support a family and all that good stuff. So you all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy your week, and I will see you tomorrow. All right? You guys all have a wonderful evening. Bye.